Hello, everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of the series or edition Laboratory Enquiry. The audio podcast is part of the series in Helm in regard to Helm in BackRow and Helm and Rudder. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production. In this audio podcast, looking at sort of the intro parts to the intro, the aims and objectives, and sort of the inquiry aspects, the initial sort of part of the inquiry aspects to peer reviewed and published works from 2023. So CKD or chronic kidney disease is a sort of a slow and decline in general health with sort of biochemical and hematological sort of wasting as part of sort of wasting in relating to sort of biochemical processes, biochemical processes, and sort of hematological and physiological, where the kidneys are concerned, and where the functional components of the kidneys have an inability to rid of waste and toxins through urine. Through urine. At the same time, healthcare service users and patients are living longer, and more awareness through sort of solutions and community and through social media platforms have supported to inform and deliver healthcare improvements of improvements for healthcare service users, and in those whom are, for example, suspect or high risk for KD or ESRD, end-stage kidney disease or end-stage renal disease. The inclusion of service users is growing, but it has not been evaluated or contextualized around sort of around around in and around the sort of utilization of social media platforms, but also in around the utilization of social media platforms, and in sort of in context to educational provision as part of healthcare service provision. So the aims and objectives of this sort of peer reviewed and published works from 2023 was to include the sort of an understanding of how healthcare and education for healthcare service users can encourage or prompt a sort of a basis in regard to integrated healthcare. The objectives of this works primarily at the same time were to describe how healthcare service users how healthcare service users manage between healthcare sectors, with a view to capture and analyze qualitative data from the perspectives of healthcare service users and healthcare professionals or healthcare service providers. And number two, to understand the options for obtaining of obtaining advice and educational support through online or through online sort of platforms. The In regard to the sort of inquiry aspect, the inquiry aspect of this peer-reviewed and published works. So this the investigation sought to this UK investigation sought to understand educational support surrounding healthcare service users, and to investigate healthcare service users and healthcare service user provider healthcare service providers, or for example allied healthcare professionals, or AHP perspectives. That draws this intro as part of this intro as part of this audio podcast series, Laboratory Enquiry, an audio podcast as part of a Helm and BackRow, an audio podcast as part of a Helm and Rudder.